Good day, beautiful people. This is just an informative video, actually. I'm still in Sao Paulo. Things is going in fuckery. And I'm going to show you about how combat environments are created. Remember I told you it's about diminishing the senses so that you get smaller and smaller in every moment. Now, how they come around you and surround you in their war upon our senses isn't just about how they behave, it's about the spaces they create. So this is Sao Paulo Airport. And I'm going to go through a few things so you can see how they attack the senses continuously, 24 hours a day for those who are here. So that it diminishes senses so that people get weaker just for being in the airport. So as you can see, there are people walking around me. Now, there are lots of people doing nothing, absolutely nothing. But wherever I go to walk, these people will change their direction and move towards me. Now, this game is about making you move. Remember in one of my videos about 10 years ago, I said, if you have no freedom here and have no freedom here, you have no freedom anywhere. Where you stand is your land. Remember I said this over 10 years ago. So one of the videos I put out on YouTube, one of the early videos. This game that they play, making you move, is to take away your freedom in here and take away your freedom in here because you have no freedom on where you stand. Because remember, where you stand is a choice you make. Where you stay is the courage you have. So if they can make you move, all of that disappears. So this is part of the social environment and they're all in on it. Now, if you look on the ground, you'll see these things for blind people and they're all over the place. But here, there's not a single blind person to be seen. Now what happens is, these things are here is because, as you can probably hear while I'm talking, it's brrr, brrr, as people move their trolleys around. Now the reason why all these things are all over the place is that the sound, for people who have to stay in the airport and they sleep on these chairs you can see here, a lot of people, rather than just going along the nice smooth marble, when they see people who are not of Brazilian background, passport, or people traveling, they deliberately ride along these things to make noise, to wake them up, rattle the senses, diminish the senses, make them scared. And a lot of people who come here do get frightened. It's one of the processes they do in picking up girls and making them sex slaves in Brazil. Now, in Sao Paulo, this airport, one of the things I've seen, some of the girls who are here have been stuck since I've been here. They've been sleeping on these chairs where I'm on. And you've got all these people rattling their senses, they get scared. They go off somewhere, and then you get these other groups of men to come along and take their suitcases. And then the problem starts from there. So I've had to help out a few girls while I've been here to make sure they get their flights. And they have got their flights, and they've made their way home now, as far as I'm aware. Now, also around this airport, there are, as you can probably see, advertising boards, advertising televisions everywhere. And what these advertising televisions are there for is not just to advertise to keep your senses discombobulated, or not just to advertise to keep things firing at your awareness all the time. But what happens is that there are many times you're sitting down doing nothing. Yeah. Many times you're sitting down doing nothing. And just like this one just now, you probably didn't see it. They flash very, very brightly. Now these LED lights, when they flash very brightly, they can act like a strobe, messing up the mind, creating epileptic problems. Now, when they all do this together, it does create issues within the brain because the light, this false LED light at such a high intensity, does get absorbed and it does cause mental malfunction. Even if only for a few seconds, it's enough discombobulation of the mind for other things that are taking place around you in the social environment to make you confused and thus bring them to be able to attack you better, or in the cases of many of the girls who disappear here, take you into sexual slavery. Now, this video is just for this, just for a quick informative summary on the environments that are created for social combat, so they can diminish your senses and steal your children. Now, this lets you know that it's architects involved, engineers involved, town planners involved, airport officials involved, governments involved. They are all involved. So you're not just going to go out and you're going to go and cut and burn all the Slavs and Jews. You're going to cut down and burn every single one of these officials too. None of them are going to survive when you finish this. There'll not be one on earth, because there are children disappearing because of them. Remember on LinkedIn a number of years ago, I done a piece on that it called traitor Barack Obama and his rebuttal to to Trump as they were creating a process to steal children from people again. And I said they've done it before, and I put up the picture Lysistrata to show you how long that plan's been in place for them to do so, because Lysistrata was written in BC times. This is the social construction of that process, leading to the abduction of children, abduction of ladies. Now, yesterday here in this very airport, one woman who was very confused because of all this social combat environment, they tried to take one of her daughters from her. She had 2 children. One of them had a Brazilian passport. They said to her, you cannot travel with a Brazilian child because she has a Brazilian passport. We're going to keep her. Just like they do in America, to keep the children in America and split them from their parents. And the only reason why they're able to do this to the woman and get her all confused and get her all stressed and get her to that point is because this whole social environment is created to break her senses and put her in a position that they can take her children. This is happening in every airport all over the earth. So you can see this is not something that is just happening. Every one of the Slavs and Jews have designed this into the society, the social and civil world of falsehood that you live in. That brings me to the last point, and a very important point at that. Social and civil world of falsehood. Why world of falsehood? Because the primary cause is truth. If you don't live in truth, you cannot realize light, absorbing the light of Ra to grow your spirit. And if you're not living in truth, growing your spirit with the light of Ra, you can never know love, the creator. This is why they created the civil and social world of falsehood, making you all be false. Because as soon as you become living in falsehood, you can never be of truth, and thus everything about you disappears, and they can do the things they've done to you, and you can see them still doing to you today on every land upon earth. So, my beautiful people, as you come together, because I hear you are rising, as you see the truth for yourselves around all social environments upon earth, you cut them all down. None are to die as you cut them down, because they are to burn alive. Because the Almighty Creator, Kal-El, and the Nameless have said they are going to burn them, and they are never going to die for an eternity. So you make sure as you cut them down, nobody dies. You just maim them enough so you can throw them into the fire and burn them alive. All of these people in Safra, these banking buildings, all these Cambia exchanges in every airport, you shut them in the box and you burn them alive, because they are taking people's passports and trapping them in countries. I've been observing them do this. You burn them alive in the boxes, all right? Truth, light, and love, one and all, my beautiful people.